Hello, everybody. Hello. This is Chris. How are you? How are you guys doing? This is the podcast for the 9th of September 2020. How are you guys? Let's have some fun. Let's see what's what. Let's jump straight into it. So, the first thing that I'm really happy about is the fact that one of my friends just got a fantastic um, project, and it's 80 icons for 2,400 euro. So that really made me happy because those 80 icons are not going to take all that long. It's actually a redesign, so he doesn't have to make them from scratch. And just like that, quite a nice payday. That would be about $3,000, I believe, something like that, for the redesigning 80 icons, which should take him a couple of days, probably about 4 or 5 days or so. Let's call it a week, right? So for just 1 week, $3,000, that's a great way to make some money. So that's pretty nice. So positive news on that side. So I'm really happy for him. On the other side of things, I managed to snap some new photos for my website for the Vuz, and we're gonna jump into that real quick. So I'm really happy about that. And actually, let's jump straight into it so you can see what my day has been like. Unfortunately, this is 720p, so it's not gonna be crystal clear. But hopefully on YouTube you'll be able to see it a bit better. So this is how I typically spend some of my days. It's basically a gallery of some snaps that I've taken, actually on my balcony. And if we just have a quick look here, these are all product photos, all sorts of different angles, different lights and whatever. Pretty basic, right? I'm not big into photography. It's not something that I specialize in. So it's just, trial and error, snap as many as you can. In this specific set, I think, I have over 272 actually. So quite a lot of photos. And again, I try and diversify things. I try and do my best and try all sorts of things with the spoon and whatnot. Obviously, here the label is a bit wet, so that's something that I would have to fix. So again, this is basically what I use Photoshop. At least today, this was a big part of it, a big chunk of it, because I need to actually use them here. And for example, look, the difference is night and day. So these biscuits, these are quite ugly. These aren't all that great. The photos aren't fantastic. So the new ones should be much better. Let's see what's what. Let's see. Oh, I think I actually already have some of them edited here on my desktop. Yeah, for example, this one, right? So I think this one is gonna look that much better on the website, and obviously that's gonna increase sales, right? Yeah, pretty good stuff. The same thing here. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna take a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna show you the process in just a couple of steps, just a couple of minutes. I don't want to bore you with this because this is not gonna be all that tight. This is actually gonna be a bit of trial and error. I don't have anything prepared. But I will update Ultimate Photoshop training with something like this. We'll probably do about 5 or 10 images that we're gonna retouch, and I think that's gonna be really fun and really useful. But as of now, we're just gonna go through them bit by bit. So let's choose some photos. This is something that I already did, so let's move on to the next flavor. Okay, this one, right? So what you're about to see is again the typical process. And what tends to happen is I snap a lot of photos like this, like these two, right? So the difference between them is absolutely minimal. But as you're about to see, you have this part right here. This is an outlet, and obviously that's not great. But because it doesn't overlap with the jar, that's not going to be a problem. Here we have another thing that we would have to remove. So I'm really happy that we have this extra photo as well. Let's see, this is overexposed. The light is way too powerful here. And this gap, this hole right here, I'm not really happy about it. I don't think I'm gonna use it. You can see this part is out of focus, but that's not really a big problem. This one seems pretty good. I'm not sure about the hole, if that's a big problem. But I quite like this part right here. So yeah, let's go with this one. Let's see the name 6765. 6765. There you go. Now, as you're about to see, my camera and most cameras, most DSLRs, we have a JPEG right here, a 6 megabyte JPEG, which is absolutely huge, 6000 by 4000. But we also have this CR3 format, this RAW format, and this really helps us because we jump straight into camera RAW, which is something, again, I haven't really spoken about in my Photoshop training, but I think this is in order. We have to do it. I'm not gonna go through the menu right now because first we have to remove the outlet. So let's just open it up. And obviously it's very simple. We have to make a selection. In this specific case, we can use the marquee tool just like that. And now obviously we can use the content aware feature. Now Shift F5 is what I like to use to open up the fill dialog. If you can't find it, just go with image and with edit and then fill, Shift F5, you can see it here. And now content aware, hit OK, and that's gonna be that in just a couple of seconds. Okay, but in case this doesn't produce great results, what you can do is you can tell Photoshop where to sample from. So you may not want, obviously, to sample from this area, right? You want Photoshop to focus on this area and replicate it here. So because of that, in CC 2020, we have this new option in the edit menu. It's content aware fill. You click it and you're taken to this specific workspace. Just hit OK. And now basically you have a few choices here, but what I like to use is I like to use custom. That's why that pop-up showed up. Now with custom, we can just paint over the area where we want Photoshop to sample from, and have a look at the preview on the right side, because when I let go, we're gonna see the change. So I'm gonna let go, and there you go. You can see right here that the result is exactly as it should be, right? So again, this area is really useful. It's in Photoshop CC 2020. And in the past, what Photoshop did was it also sampled from this specific part, and obviously that wasn't all that great because you would get some problems here on the right side. Control Z and let's hit OK. Great. Now that we have that area sorted out, let's see. Yeah, we made it into a new layer. Not a problem. Let's just merge them together. Let's convert it to a smart object, and now we're gonna go with camera raw. Now, again, the thing is, time is money, right? And if this is for $100, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. Considering I have about 36 products and I want about 5 photos for each one, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. So what you can do, if you don't wanna spend any time on it, you can just click this small little button that says auto. So click it and pretty good, right? So this isn't all that great, but it's still pretty good. Control Z, and let's have another look again. Hit auto, and this is a pretty good starting point, right? Now, the whole secret here is trial and error. There's no secret actually. It's just you have to try various things and see what's what. For example, you can see that unfortunately my printers, I print all my labels in-house. And they're not, $10,000, $20,000 printers. They're only about $5,000. So because they're fairly cheap, we have these problems. So what we can do is we can use the noise reduction slider right here, and that should help us just a little bit. So did you see that? Again, I know this is 720, so this is the default one. And if we raise it up to 100%, at least the red part, the red text is a bit improved. So that's something that's pretty good. Another thing that would probably help you in most situations is the fact that when you have a series of photos, it's really important that you set the mood, right? So adjusting the temperature is going to make a huge difference, right? We can have it cooler, like so, which obviously wouldn't make sense in this specific case, but if this is for the drink, maybe for some ice cream or something like that, a cooler shot may look better. And again, it's really important that you set all your photos to the same temperature, because again, being a set, that's really gonna make them look really nice. Or you can do something like this. Let me actually exaggerate quite a lot so you can see it through 720p. Right, so you can see this is like a sundown, right? The sun is out, it's actually going down, and we have this nice warm orange light on it. right? Obviously, this is way too powerful, so let's tone it back. Let's just say something like that, maybe just a bit, +5, right? And let's see what else. Obviously, again, you really have to play with these sliders. And what I like to do is I like to do something like this, and then I start to fine tune it. I start to see, okay, where is the proper place for it. So I think something like that. Okay, how about the highlights? Okay, now overall this is pretty good. Again, I like to use the clarity quite a bit, just in case there are certain parts that can use a boost. Okay, let's go with something like that. And the part that I really love, again, I really want to focus just 10 minutes, no more than 15 minutes per photo, because it's not going to be perfect, but again, time is money, so I really have to bang them out. So what I like to do is I like to focus my adjustments on one specific area. So what you can do is you can do something like this. You can click on this specific tool. It's called the adjustment brush. And then let's say we want a lot of texture here. This being a brush, this means you can use your square bracket keys to enlarge it or shrink it, just like so. I'm gonna click right here. And now, for example, for the texture, let's say we crank it all the way up. Let's see. So something like that, right? So this is +100. This is nothing, right? +100, right? Let's see the clarity. But the idea is that you can really focus on this specific part and really make the cookie really stand out. Obviously, you could do something like that, right? That wouldn't make a lot of sense. But again, the whole idea is to target your adjustments to this specific part. Let's see if there's anything else that we might want to adjust here. Yeah, maybe the sharpness just a little bit. Let's see. Not a big difference. Not a big difference. The saturation, let's see. It's already quite yellow. I think that's going to be that. And then we're going to hit OK. And after a while, this is our after shot. So before and Photoshop after, right? So this is the type of thing I like to do. Just very basic stuff, basic editing, and obviously you can spend loads of time to make sure the shot is absolutely perfect. And then the next thing is really important as well. You probably know that speed is a major CEO factor. So if you want your website to be as high as possible in Google search results, you have to make sure that it loads fast. If you want it to load fast, you obviously have to make sure that your images, your assets are as small as possible. But on the other hand, you obviously want large images. But large images are typically huge in size, right? So as a JPEG or as a PNG, if each one of these is one megabyte, let's say, here 4 photos, 5 photos, you have 5 megabytes. So that's totally unacceptable. Let's just have a quick look and see what Photoshop can offer us in terms of size. File size, obviously this is huge, but let's just go with 1200 by 800 as a PNG. And let's see, okay, so 1 megabyte, exactly what I was saying. 1 megabyte is totally unacceptable because again, I have 5 here. And besides these 5, I also have other things right here. So because of it, you really have to make sure that you're paying attention. Again, clients are really gonna love you. They're really gonna appreciate the fact that you're gonna go through this extra step. Now, obviously, you could choose this option and go for the smaller file size. And from 1 megabyte, you're gonna go at 300, but 300 is still not good enough. So what I like to do is I like to use JPEG. I like to go with 85%, which is that sweet spot between high quality and slight artifacts, slight blurriness and whatnot. This is still pretty big, 229, but let me actually just go through the motions and you'll see what's what. Let's go with desktop. Let's go with test. Okay. So 230, right? And then we're gonna go on tinypng.com, which also works on JPEGs, and we're actually gonna load the image up. There we go. And in just a few seconds, there you go, 87 kilobytes. So massive reduction, 63%. And again, this is without losing any quality. The quality is going to be top notch. No issues whatsoever. There you go, right? So this is how you have your cake and eat it at the same time, right? This is how you have large images that are also small. So again, I really feel like most people, most clients are really gonna appreciate this type of thing. I think that's gonna be fantastic for you to implement in your workflow because it's a good one. I'm not a big fan of Lightroom because again, I'm not big on photography. I just like to focus on one program, Photoshop, learn it, learn the hell out of it, specialize, master it, and then move on. Speaking about mastering it, I really feel like I have to address something because it's quite a shame. I really appreciate when people try and promote some of their projects or their jobs or whatever, right? And we have this situation here with a student with a member, Kadush, probably. Sorry about that if that's not the right pronunciation. And he says that I'm offering the service of conversion rate optimization. Now, conversion rate optimization may mean a ton of things. You may think about e-commerce, you may think about whatever. There's loads of other things that where you can apply where conversion rate is applied, right? It's not just about web design. And even if let's just assume it's about web design again, you're saying you can improve my e-commerce conversion rate. Fantastic. Is that a consulting job where we just have a call and you explain what's wrong? Is this a redesign where you redesign my website in Photoshop or Adobe XD? Are you offering development? So because of that, I really feel like this is something we should talk about just briefly. Because again, it's all love. I don't want to, I don't want to be a jerk or throw anyone under the bus. But if you want to advertise, you have to make sure that you're clear. You have to make sure that you're offering something that's valuable and that you're offering it in a very nice way, in a package that seems attractive. So, hey guys, now I'm also, like we know what he's previously offering. So this word that he's also offering it implies that we already know what he's offering. The service of conversion rate optimization. Conversion rate optimization is not something most people know about. I would think I would dare to guess that maybe half of my students know what conversion rate optimization is. So that alone may not be great because all of a sudden you want to advertise and all of a sudden you're just limiting your base to just this narrow group that understands what's conversion rate optimization, right? If he said, hey guys, I know how to sell more stuff on your websites, right? If you have a store and you want to sell more, I can help you sell more. So if you use that approach, I really feel like it's gonna make a huge difference because you don't want only those people that know what you're talking about. You want everybody. You want as many people as possible, right? Because you want as many clients as possible, right? And then again, he says that he doesn't want to bore anyone with extra text. So if you're interested, just message him. That's like saying, hey guys, I have a restaurant. If you want to know more about it, just message me. Well, how about some prices? How about what type of restaurant it is? Do I do delivery? Where is it located? What type of food? Prices? Again, you really have to make sure that when you're trying to sell something, in this case specifically your services, that you're really fair about it. Now, going back to my friend who got offered that job, again, $3,000 for 80 icons. The way he did it was he said something along the following lines. I'm just gonna really tell the story in short. Basically, he said, okay, the average going rate here in Romania is say $20 per hour. What I'm gonna offer you is $15 per hour. You want 80 icons, right? Okay, I think I'm gonna spend about 2 hours per icon, maybe an hour or half, whatever. And then you just do the math, right? So $15 per hour is already a discounted rate. So he's already offering a deal. And you just do some math, whatever 50 or 80 times 1.5 or whatever, then you have whatever value it is, right? So I really find that's the best way to go about it, right? You really have to break it down and make sure your prices and everything are as clean as possible, well explained, because that obviously maximizes your chances of making a lot of money. And one final thing that I would really love to talk about is huge projects. This is the type of project that I really appreciate, and this is the type of project that could easily cost around $100,000. Now, you might say $100,000 for one single website. That may sound ridiculous, but it's actually quite realistic and it's not all that crazy. This can actually cost a lot more. And you can see the schedule right here. MVP is minimum viable product. MVP is what happens when you wanna. Most clients should ask you for this type of thing. So let's say they have an incredible idea that will revolutionize whatever, right? They want a new business. The best way to go about it, hands down, no discussion, is to create an MVP. An MVP is just a stripped down version. It's a very simple version that doesn't have loads of features, that doesn't have all the bells and whistles, that doesn't have sleek animation interactions and everything else. It's as basic as possible. And why should companies use an MVP? Why should they go for that approach? Because they don't want to spend whatever, $500,000 to develop this incredible product that nobody wants to use. What you do is you only spend whatever, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it may be, a very small part of your budget. You make a very basic version of your product and then you launch it. So because of that, I really feel like it's important that you guys know about this MVP approach. And basically, after you do the MVP, and then you're gonna have the stable version 1, right? And again, I really love how these guys took everything from this incredible product, and they just laid it out. You know, they laid out everything step by step, how they made it, how they did it, how they created user personas. And this right here is something that I really wanted to show you guys. This is again something that's fantastic. It's huge, as you can see, and this is the type of thing you're actually gonna have to do if you're into web design, and if you want to make that leap from 99 designs and $500 per website to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 websites. This is the type of thing that you have to participate in, and I really feel like it's not all that difficult. Obviously, I'm talking from my experience, from my position, but you know what? You can actually do this. The most important part is that you believe in yourself and you jump straight into it, because you're not going to be alone. You're not going to be forced to create something like this all by yourself, right? What tends to happen is you actually have a wireframe. Let's see if we have a wireframe. We don't really have a big wireframe here, but let's quickly jump into XD so we can see what's what. Even though I think this is gonna be in Romanian, I think this still gets the point across. So here's the idea, right? You have a website, whether it's an MVP or if it's a complete website, it's pretty good. Now, to create a huge flow like this information architecture, what you have to think is, if you click here, what's gonna happen? What about if you click here on this red button? What about if you click on this one right here? So because of that, the answers gradually unfold. So you'll be able to create something like this in no time at all, as long as you're using the correct tools for the job. Again, you can use Photoshop or Adobe XD or any other tool, online tool, digital tool, to create such a tree, such a design. But what really matters is you not use a pen and paper, because obviously it's going to be a lot of scribbling, a lot of deleting and whatnot. So again, I strongly believe that if you want to make the leap, from 99 designs to something where it's far more lucrative, where you can make a whole lot of money, what you have to do is you have to take on these types of projects. You have to participate in them, no matter how much you're gonna earn. You have to at least get that experience under your belt. Because again, if you actually look at the design, as you can see, this is very simple. This is minimal. This is tasteful, I would say. Right? So we have a few icons here and there, which are pretty good, pretty interesting. But again, they're not, incredible by any means. We have a decent font used throughout, a decent typeface with multiple fonts, to be more specific. Because again, a typeface is whatever, Arial, right? A font is Arial bold, 20 pixels and blue. right? So that's one instance. A font is one instance of a typeface, right? So again, looking at the actual design, you wouldn't think that, this, is a $100,000 project, but actually it is. And it is not just because, you need to be a world-class designer to actually be able to execute it. It's very expensive just for the fact that you have to make sure that you go through all those steps. You have to go through all that preparation, right? You have to make sure you set your schedule, that you brainstorm, that you set your personas, that you create that tree that gradually unfolds, right? This thing right here. So it's a lot that goes into it. But again, and again, to finish my point, there's a lot of preparation involved, and the actual designing is only a small part of it. Maybe it's 30% of it, right? So don't be fooled. Don't look at this thing and say, okay, if I'm gonna design something like this in Photoshop, I'm gonna get $100,000. It's not that simple. You have to brainstorm, you have to work with the client and see what you can design that actually fulfills his goals, that achieves his dreams. Let's see, we have a question here that I missed before. Okay, in Master Web Design, you said that custom graphics could greatly increase our earnings. Well, yeah, it's basically what I said before. So again, this friend took a job for a project-based job to design 80 icons, to redesign 80 icons, and he made a lot of money off of that. He's gonna make a lot of money off of that. But it's not something that I would start with, because that's a very niche thing, right? So again, what I would do is I would focus on a centerpiece. Your portfolio has to include something like this, right? A huge dashboard, a huge website, an interactive prototype or whatever. And based on that, someone may say, hey, I just love your presentation. I want you to create a presentation for my company for the new product. Or, hey, I saw that your color use is fantastic. Or I saw that your emoji is great. Can you create me a set of emojis, custom emojis? So that's how things usually happen. Obviously, you could specialize in something very niche like emojis or whatever, like with animations or whatever, but I would not go that route. I would not specialize on illustrations, for example, because again, those are very looked for. I totally agree. But with freepik.com and so many resources on the web, I really don't think it's a great use of your time, because again, I think for about, let's throw some numbers out there. I think for at least 6 to 12 months, you're gonna suck. Whatever you're gonna produce is gonna be far lower quality than what you can find on Freepik or various websites, right? So because of that, you're basically gonna lose a year just developing your skills. Because again, nobody wants to buy illustrations that are worse than what you can find on the web for free or for whatever, $5, $10 or whatever, right? Nobody's gonna pay you good money for something that sucks, right? But obviously, it all depends on what you want to do. If you love a certain thing, for example, look, just opening up a Dribble real quick. These types of logos, right? I don't care for them. I don't think this is a great way to live. Now, obviously, people can charge for logos, whatever, $50,000, $20,000 and whatnot, right? And you would probably be over the moon to receive $50,000 for such a logo, right? But again, it's not that simple. It's very time consuming, and the chances of you making it, I like to look at logo design like the NBA, right? You may be great at basketball, but seriously, what are your chances of actually making it, right? Whereas web design or graphic design, the field is much wider. Your chances go up significantly because you don't have to be an elite web designer to actually create some beautiful stuff, to actually create some great websites for various businesses. But to actually be a fantastic logo designer, man, you have to be something special. You have to do something special to really make sure that you stand out, and that's nearly impossible. I mean, again, just what I would strongly recommend is you watch the freelancing course, Profitable Freelancing, because there I record what it's like to be a contest holder, where I want someone to create a logo for me on 99 Designs, right? And basically, really the gist of it, the essence of it, is that most people just copy existing logos. And why is that the case? Well, in this specific case, I had a company called My Stylist, right? So most designers said, okay, I should do something with MS, right? Unfortunately, how many companies start with MS? This has been done to death. Any combination where the M is upside down with where the S is somehow integrated in the M, anything that you can think of has already been done. Whether it's Mark and Spencer or whatever it is, millions of companies out there has spent a lot of time, so you can't really come up with an original way to blend M and S together, right? So because of that, you have to really spend a lot of time on it. You have to really put a lot of effort into it. And even if you put all your heart and soul into it, it's not gonna be original most of the time. Because again, it's how many things can you do with an M and an S? Obviously, you don't have to create a logo based on 2 letters. Obviously, you can do something different for my stylist. But on 99 designs, again, I had whatever, let's say 40 or 50 designers, something along those lines. Most of them opted to do that, right? So again, logo design, I feel it's something, again, it's like the NBA. Your chances of actually making it are slim to none. And again, I don't really want to be a jerk. I really don't want to upset anyone, because I'm sure that some of you guys may be fantastic illustrators. Some of you guys may create fantastic logos. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that I would not recommend it to my closest friends. I wouldn't recommend it to a large group of people, right? Instead, I would recommend, Facebook ads, Instagram content, various things that, you can easily get great at, in a matter of 3 to 6 months, and you can make a living out of that. Okay, let's see if there are any other questions, and then we're gonna sign off. Microsoft, yeah, again, loads of companies that use MS, not just the fact that they have MS in their names, but they actually use MS as their logo. You can just Google it and you'll find loads of them. Okay, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Chris. Please remember there's a contest going on. There's a weekly contest that's very simple. It's not about the money. It's all about practicing your skills, but the money couldn't hurt, obviously. Isn't gonna hurt anyone. $20, you have this video here on YouTube, create a thumbnail for it. That's it. It's nothing all that complicated. Create a 1920 by 1080 PNG, send it to my email, and if I love it, I'm gonna send you $20. That's that. And if you suck, if you make something that's not cool, not good, no problems. You're gonna see it compared to everybody else's designs, and then you can get better at it. You can see how other people interpreted the brief and how other people thought of the project. And I really feel that that's the most valuable thing. And yeah, I hope it's gonna be a good learning experience. Right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm gonna go back to editing these photos, and then I'm gonna head off to the gym. Thank you, and I'll see you on Sunday. Have a good one. Bye.